Welcome back to Peace, Love and Tarot. This reading is for Scorpio, Sun, Moon or Rising. And Scorpio, it is your 2020 yearly overview. Now, I know you can't see the full table here, Scorpio, but what I'm going to do is hold up each pair as I read them anyway, so you'll be able to see them really clearly and closely. What we have is one card from the Rider-Waite Tarot deck for each month of 2020, and then we have a clarifier from the Star Child Tarot deck for each one of those as well. So we're going to start with January here, and we're going to move our way around clockwise all the way to that beautiful full energy in December. So a big year, guys, so many major arcana, and I'm noticing a theme in my readings for 2020. For each sign that I'm reading for, there's usually one or two major arcana that I'm getting double ups on. It's really interesting. And for you guys, it is the High Priestess. So a lot about tuning into your intuition this year. There could be, information and knowledge, even secrets that come to life, or come to light, when the time is right. And we start that High Priestess energy in January. Now we have High Priestess, we have that mixed with Akashic Records. Now Akashic Records is an extra major arcana in the Star Child Tarot deck, and what the Akashic Records are, if you haven't heard of them, is this concept that every thought, every piece of knowledge, every piece of information that has ever been thought or brought into creation exists out there, exists in the energy field, right? Because thought forms, words, and all of that energy cannot be created or destroyed. It just changes form. So with that combination with the High Priestess, and the High Priestess has the ability to bring information to light, to reveal mysteries. I think that in January, some of you could be getting a deep insight, maybe some kind of download, spiritual knowledge, deep insight about yourself, about your history, about your past. That's really going to be transformative information for you. Once again, the High Priestess is about tuning into that intuition space. So definitely some extra meditation, walks in nature, or providing those quiet times, create the space for this to come through is what I'm seeing here, because obviously we take it's really in those quiet times that the information can come through. It's coming through from spirit. For others of you, it could be come through a conversation with somebody. But either way, I feel like there's some really pivotal piece of information or download that's going to come to light in January for you. So that's pretty interesting and exciting. So let's go to your February. Big reach. We have the Emperor energy with the Two of Wands. Okay, so it may or may not be linked to what you learn in January, but February sees you going through a little bit of a life review. Looking at the path that you're on, questioning the future, maybe, wondering whether you should step beyond that comfort zone to pursue another path. And we are going to wrap up the year with the Fool, so maybe this is where that kind of, that seed of knowing that there's a new beginning to take place starts to kind of plant itself. So yeah, the Two of Wands can be about, questioning the past, thinking about the future, realizing that you have the whole world in your hands, unlimited possibilities. And in order to gain those, there is something that needs to be released, or a comfort zone that needs to be stepped beyond in order to reach that next level of abundance. So I think that's really that insight happening in February. And we have that with the Emperor here. So, there could be an Aries in the mix, a boss or a mentor or something like that, that somehow helps you with this process. But also, if we look at the energy of the Emperor is somebody who can shape their life, their world, and they don't let the world shape them. He can rule an empire. He's a visionary, he's determined, he's sturdy, he's strong, he's grounded. So I think this is about you getting into the position where it's like, okay, what do I want for my life? And I'm going to go out and claim it, and I am going to be the co-creator of my reality. I'm going to decide which path to walk. I'm not going to ride on someone else's coattails, march to the beat of somebody else's drum. So we see you in February having a bit of a life review under that Emperor energy. So the Emperor could also be about putting some plans in place for that as well. It really is a practical, grounded energy. So yeah, having that realization and then think, how can I make that happen, and start to put those initial plans in place. March, King of Crystals, which is the King of Pentacles, and Strength. So we do have a lot of powerful figures in this reading, High Priestess, Emperor, King of Pentacles, Strength. So, the Strength card that we have in March here can ask us to bring any sides of ourselves into balance that might be out of balance. And that's when we realize our infinite potential. So, for example, some of us might have inner demons, skeletons in our closets that come up, past memories and things like that can affect us in our daily life. They can definitely affect our ability to feel grounded, our ability to generate abundance in our lives. But by bringing them into balance, coaxing them, calming them, and soothing them, that's when we become, a whole, integrated, balanced, and aligned human being that can then go about building that empire again. So Strength talks about balancing equal... Sorry, I was checking the timer there. Don't want it to run out on us. About balancing emotions and feelings with their opposites in order to bring them into an equilibrium. So, for example, if you're experiencing, anger or anger or resentment or something like that for a past situation, then we would meet that with forgiveness and compassion as the antidote to transmute those energies, to bring that beast under control, the maiden, bringing that under control. And when we're balanced and under control and realizing our infinite potential, we have the ability to be the King of Crystals, who's mature, solid, grounded, stable, who has mastered the ability to generate abundance into his life, who understands the process of manifesting to putting solid plans in progress, putting solid plans in progress, and then watching that grow and expand and reaping that harvest. So yeah, some of you, if you can, get yourself into alignment, I think there's greater abundance to be had and generated in March. Okay, April. We have the Page of Cups and the Nine of Crystals, which is the Nine of Pentacles. So the theme of abundance continues. Nine of Crystals, obviously it's one step before the Ten of Pentacles, which we see here later in your reading. So this is about, whatever goes on here with this kind of bringing things under control and tapping into that Emperor energy, putting those plans in place. I think it has the ability to expand pretty quickly into that second quarter of the year, because Nine of Crystals is about great abundance. It's about opulence, quality, self-sufficiency. It's about being able to make it on your own, to build abundance on your own, to not require anybody else. It's about independence. It's a really beautiful card. With the Page of Cups here, there could be a younger water sign in the mix, Scorpio, Cancer, or Pisces. But also with that Page of Cups, it can be about abundance being found in unexpected places, or opportunities to create abundance being found in unexpected places. There can also be the message of maybe not getting too caught up in your sense of creating abundance in your life and focusing on the physical and material, so as to not forget your light-hearted side, your childlike qualities, and your sense of spontaneity. So that might be needing to be balanced in April. I love the Page of Cups. It's a really fun, kind of excitable energy. Okay, May. In May, we have the Three of Wands and the High Priestess again. So here she makes another appearance. Okay, so in May, we have the High Priestess and Three of Wands. So Three of Wands is about forward vision. It's about new manifestations. It's turning your back on some part of the past that might not have worked out as you had desired, and starting to think about how you can manifest that in a new direction so that your ships will come in your next season. So this person here might not be experiencing the achievement and success with this thing, whether it's love or work or career, quite yet, but he understands that success will come to him if he keeps on taking the right steps, keeps on manifesting, keeps on releasing the past, and keeps on taking inspired action to move forward. Now, the High Priestess, again, it can be that reminder to tune into your intuition, to, harness the learnings and energy and experience that you might have had from darker times and bringing that into the present to be transmuted, or through those, I feel like through those lessons, there could be gems that are going to help you on this journey, because that High Priestess has been to hell and back. She's spent time in both realms, and because of that, she has a deeper understanding into how life works. So, some of that experience and information may help you on this journey, on this next little journey that you are starting to take in May. Okay, June. June, we have the Six of Swords and we have the Two of Crystals, which is the Two of Pentacles. Yeah, okay, so it's kind of following that theme from the last month. So, some of you turned your back on a situation in May, and I feel like by the time June rolls around, you know that, in order to get these ships coming in on the horizon, that you do need to actually move away from that situation that you turned your back on. And there might be an amount of sadness, of grief, of shame, of sorrow in having to do that. But we have to keep in mind that we're heading for calmer waters, smoother sailing, leaving tumultuous emotions behind and moving to somewhere that's more harmonious for us. And there's true growth to be had in that process too. Now, the reminder, if possible, is to try and leave past baggage, these swords on the shoreline, so we can carry on with an empty vessel, so we're not, taking all of that with us. Now, the Two of Crystals, which is the Two of Pentacles, is the Juggler in the Rider deck. So there could be an amount of indecision about this move. But, with the Two of Crystals, there's that feeling of being unsteady on the feet, being ungrounded, and that causing these tumultuous emotions. So sometimes we need to bring things into balance. We need to balance things out. And that can mean leaving a past situation to bring ourselves into alignment again. Rather than trying to keep, just one pentacle in the air and then there's the other one, might be work, life, love, we really need to either put one of those things down or find a way to bring them into balance. And that might mean leaving something behind. So that's what we have in June. It's a necessary rite of passage, guys, because it means that you're getting to, we've got a Ten of Pentacles, an Ace of Cups, and a Fool coming up. So sometimes to get to the next stage, we need to let something go. We're creating space for the goods to come in. Okay, July. Oh, we have Ten of Cups and we have the Five of Swords. So this is where you're heading, guys. Ten of Cups, Ten of Pentacles. This is like the highest card of emotional fulfillment, of love, of harmony and satisfaction. But it says that there might be something blocking it in July. And I feel that this could relate to the situation that you're trying to transition away from. So in that transition, there might be the other party tries to, argue with you. There could be harsh words. It could blow up in some way. Now, for some of you, like I said, it could be leaving a relationship, it could be leaving a job, could be trying to, extract yourself from a business partnership. Now, the Five of Swords is a card of victory, but it's a victory that comes at a cost, right? And it's almost like you're fighting an opponent where it's not an equal battle, because these people here have just had to leave their swords and walk away from it. But it is a really an argumentative energy or a one-upmanship. It's that kind of thing. And I really feel that by engaging in this conflict energy, you are just, delaying or holding yourself back from a Ten of Cups reality, because that's what's waiting, through releasing this situation. So try and leave that past in the past. Leave these swords behind, because if we keep carrying them, that's when they end up in conflict energy. That Ten of Cups really wants to come through. Okay, August. Beautiful Ten of Pentacles and the King of Swords. Right, okay, so the King of Swords is all about vision and clarity and truth. Now, the King of Swords also talks about setting healthy boundaries, especially around energies that we don't, need in our energy field because they're not serving us. He talks about setting boundaries and cutting energetic cords using the sword of victory, releasing yourself from this situation, and through that there's great personal transformation to be had, because the King of Swords is a visionary. He knows where he's heading. He's heading for the Ten of Pentacles and that Ten of Cups that was beyond there. But I feel like these energies are trying to come through for you, Scorpio, but there's like these barriers to them. So we need to make sure that we release them, otherwise we're just delaying ourselves getting to the good stuff. And the good stuff of the Ten of Pentacles is, it's the money card. It can be the card of great material abundance and success, but it also talks about solidity and stability on the home front as well. So it can be setting up a beautiful home with a lover, that's going to lead to generational living, pets, the whole shabam. So that is waiting just beyond your comfort zone, I'm feeling. Excuse me. Okay, so we are at September, I think. Yep, September. Yeah, so here comes the transformation, guys. Because you have the transformation card, which is actually the death card. So this is where I feel that the situation that's been hanging around this middle of year needs to pass, needs to be let go and released to clear that slate, so that we can call in these energies. We have strong new beginnings that want to come in. They've been alluded to here. So, transformation or death. There's nothing more sure in life than the cycle of death and rebirth, right? And every time we rebirth, we get to transform, we get to recreate ourselves. So there's something that needs to be released. Maybe it is that relationship, that dead-end job, that friendship, that toxic situation. But we really need to, look that death in the eye and allow that to happen. Because if we try to, hold on to a situation that's no longer serving us or is ready to complete, that's when we get stagnation, that's when we get stuck, and that's when we can create blocks to, things that are supposed to come in for us in divine timing, and we can kind of delay our life path a bit. So we must embrace that, even though, it can come with some level of pain, some level of grief, because change can be difficult, guys, but it's necessary. It's necessary for us to get to new adventures. Page of Wands is all about exploring new territories. And yeah, like after that death card comes in, that death energy, it can clear the slate, and you can feel like you're a little bit like this guy here who's sort of in the desert. There might be a little bit of a space in September, we're in September, where you feel a little bit out to sea, or you feel a little bit like you're in the space in between, in the desert. But it won't be long before you start to get your sense of enthusiasm, passion and discovery back, and you can start to focus on new manifestations. We have that link to the 3 peppered throughout this reading, because this Page of Wands has found himself the Ace of Wands. There's a passionate offer, there's a new beginning, there's something happening behind the curtain that's going to lead to real growth for you. So this is the beginnings of new action, new manifestations that are going to come out of this clear slate here. Beautiful. I actually love the death card. It's one of my favorites. Okay, October. Ace of Cups and 7 of Cups. Here we go. So it won't be long in the desert, guys, before you have maybe too many options on the table. I mean, beautiful Ace of Cups. Fits in perfectly with the theme of transformation, because look at these lotus flowers on the pond here. Now, if you know about a lotus, it starts its life in the mud, and it makes the journey up through the water, following the light, up to the surface, where it can bloom. So it is transformative. It goes from, from the darkness, from the mud, from the dirt, from the sludge, from the denser energies up into the light. I really feel that this is you feeling reborn and transformed after that death energy. And also I reckon there is going to be a lot of offers and possibilities and options coming in for you, maybe on a romantic level, or if not, there are things that are going to fulfill you and give you that satisfaction on an emotional and feelings level. All the five senses basically overflowing, feeling an overflowing cup. And we have that with the Seven of Cups, which can be feeling spoiled for choice, being bamboozled by the options. The message with the Seven of Cups is to have that discernment to choose the right things to pursue. So you're going to have a lot of shiny offers or beautiful people or, I don't know, lots of different job offers on the table. Try to scratch the surface and not just go with the one that looks the best on the outside, because sometimes that's not the one that goes the distance. So get to know those people, look at those contracts, talk to other people that work there so that you can choose the best cup for you to grow and expand into this new beginning. But yeah, it's really strong new beginning energy starting to come in October. November. The Hermit and Justice. Ooh, big combo. So in November, could be a situation coming to a head, a fair and just modification happening. It could be relating to the situation back here that you've brought to a close, because justice can be legal proceedings, contractual agreements, maybe it's to do with this new opportunity here, can be divorce proceedings. It's about stepping into a place of victory and a place of balance again after a period where you may not have been. And the Hermit, the Hermit is about, restoration, going within to seek wisdom, maybe taking a little bit of time out if you need to. It links to, that star energy, so it can be about renewal after, some ends are tied up, after these scales are balanced again. And it is about knowing that you're about to walk a new path, but you don't quite know that destination yet. This little illumination in here, the more you seek that internal wisdom, the more you go within, the brighter that star shines. And little by little, it starts to light the path more and more. So what might be just you seeing a few steps in front and shuffling forward in November is going to expand fully, and you're going to see that new path, or maybe many different paths to walk. It's a really beautiful energy here. But yeah, something is going to come to justice before that happens, and then you might be going within to really rebalance yourself before the big new beginning at the end of the year. So you guys are closing out the year by welcoming in a brand new chapter here with the Fool. Excuse me. So we've got the Fool and the Hierophant. So the Hierophant relates to institutionalized settings. It can be marriage, committed relationship, the institutions we work in, the institutions of study. So some of you might be starting a new job, a new relationship. Some of you might be ending one, and then this is you carrying forth in your own new direction. But either way, the Fool energy is about taking a leap of faith, restoring your trust and hope and faith in the universe, and knowing that you will be supported and guided as you move forward and take those first tentative steps, or expand on those tentative steps that you started taking in the Hermit energy. It's about making instinctual decisions for yourself to reconnect with your rebel heart energy. Now that's what's interesting about the Hierophant, because the Hierophant talks about values and institutionalized values that have been passed down from us by those places of work, by our parents, our families and systems. So I think this is about you carrying on in a new chapter where you get to live by your values, your alignment, really, reconnecting with your higher self. And that's when, you find the relationship that truly fulfills you, the job that, you enter that blue flame zone where your passions and skill set aligns. It's such beautiful energy here, guys. So, what greater way to end the year I feel like, it's such a strong year for you guys, and it's a process of, clearing to allow in this good stuff. I mean, 10 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles, Ace of Cups, and the Fool. You're really gathering momentum towards fulfillment, towards satisfaction, towards love in 2020. Okay, Scorpio, I'm going to leave it there. It looks like a great year, action-packed, lots of good stuff. Keep in mind it's a general reading, so I'm not saying every Scorpio is going to have a year like this. Feel free to leave me a comment. Love to know how your year kicks off for you, and I'll see you for lots of weekly and monthly readings throughout 2020.